I don't remember what the talk about.
What was one? Arizona governor. Man.
Yeah.
Coffee down.
We're already live. Go get coffee.
No, but
I'll run the intro.
I was about to say, there's more buttons you can push.
All right, and good morning.
It is, in fact, a good morning.
Okay, and I am going to break the rules and sit here and play with this phone for a minute while we're kind of getting started, because there's a thing I keep meaning to do,
And then you keep not doing it?
and I'm just going to go ahead and do it so I don't forget again.
Oh, I see. I see. That, was that put the link to the Buy Me a Coffee in the description?
No, I did that.
Oh, okay.
See, it's right there. You scroll down to the description, it's a big blue link. Just click it and give me money. Speaking of coffee,
me.
I hope everybody's spun up for some of that. So I was up.
Here, scroll that out. The controls.
Yeah, I'll give you the thing.
Right.
I was up a little late last night, just doing what do you call them? Edits on that footage from the protest on Tuesday. So that's all ready to go.
Oh, the thing where I've been to college. I understand the math much more better than you. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. It appears as though Steve Rodemeyer has first blood wielding that band hammer. Sean Stryker is with us and appears to be requesting a hammer. I think Stryker can have a Mjolnir.
I could give Stryker a hammer.
Yeah, I think a Mjolnir works for you. Let's see, Scrimshaw Rose.
I can't do it without taking control away from you, though, so I'll let you go ahead and do that.
It doesn't have to happen right this second.
Well, obviously.
Antro Ramirez, Megan Wilbanks, your father, good morning, sir. The lovely Daniel Munoz. She did not defriend us, thank goodness.
I appreciate that, Danny. I do not now remember why we were under threat, but I'm sure it was perfectly reasonable. I know us.
Well, Lieutenant Adam Bombs and Pitt Danny and Just for Fun Radio. Good morning, coming to us from Indiana. Wow, awesome. Let's see, and then Crack Shot.
I saw Lieutenant Adambaum in there too, and I think I've seen you with us for a hot minute there, sweetheart. Glad to have you back.
And then Yeah. Okay. I think that's everybody. So.
Indeed.
So. Let's do this.
Okay, so I've knocked out the bulk of them. There's still more notifications. I don't know that there's a way to disable all notifications without and then re-enable one. So I just went through and knocked out the primary offenders.
Rob Hova comes to us from Twitch and has a Metroid. I still think I like the Dragon Ball reference better, but not bad. Not bad with the Metroid. Okay.
Rob's hopping over to YouTube. And by the way, and honestly, guys, we're everywhere. We're Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. As soon as Truth Social has live streaming available, we'll be there as well. Got some other things coming down the pipe too.
Like locals. In fact, look out for our community tab. We're going to put out a poll where we're going to let you nice people decide what our last show is local. Excuse me. I was reading. Okay. Here we go. We're going to put out a poll on our community tab when we're going to let you nice people decide what our first locals show is going to be. And I think we're aiming to do that the last weekend of the month. And maybe kind of our soft plan for the rest of the year is to do a locals only the last weekend of every month. But we're still developing all that. So yeah. Danny's saying it looks like we're live on Just for Fun. Is that intentional?
We're live on Just for Fun? I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah.
I guess we'll roll with it. So, good morning, everybody from over at Just for Fun Radio.
Are we?
I don't know. I didn't mean to be. I don't know how the hell that would have happened. That's
So.
Well, if you don't have enough gas in Indiana, Rob, I'm sure there's a good Mexican joint not too far away. Let me see.
Oh, see, and here we go. This is live as hard mode, and now you see the sausage being made. And then Just for Fun, James from Just for Fun Radio has chimed in.
I see. Hey, James. I don't know how we ended up live on Just for Fun, but we're only going to be here for another 21 minutes because I've got to go to Fayetteville.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just get right into it. It's you know what I noticed? It's still not The Handmaid's Tale yet.
It's not, despite the thumbnail this morning. It is.
Oh, you see, I think maybe that was part of the joke. And it's funny. Rob Hova says we're still fighting $5 a gallon in Chicago, but I thought that was MAGA country, especially when there's a polar vortex outside.
Well, here's the link to the Brushfire Mind Locals feed. It does exist already. We started playing with it a couple of years ago and it just never went anywhere. So we're gonna try to get it back. We're gonna try to get back to it. Looks like the last post on there was March 19th of 2021.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Anyhow, but it's okay. Take two. Kansas.
Two.
It's still not A Handmaid's Tale.
It's not. So, okay. There are some things that a person needs to understand about the infanticide issue before we get too far down this rabbit hole. Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Yes.
It's done. Finally. And thank God for that.
It was bad law in the first place.
Understand that Roe v. Wade categorically did not say that the act of murdering your unborn child was protected by law. What it did is, in a move of stunning judicial activism, it said that the act of murdering your child in the privacy of a doctor's office was protected against criminalization by doctor-patient privilege, that the right to privacy, which is assumed from the emanations and nebulous penumbra of the unenumerated rights of the Constitution, presupposed from the Fourth Amendment and the 14th Amendment, right? That's from the language of Roe v. Wade. The emanations and nebulous penumbra of unenumerated rights include a right to privacy, which, according to the judicial activists that want you to murder your children on their behalf, includes the privacy of committing murder in a closed room with a trained professional. The argument legally for abortion is that if you hire an assassin and you bring your victim to a private closed room to kill them, that the police cannot investigate that murder. This goes further with, was it the Michigan law that said that tried to make it the case that
for like the first 15 days?
For the first 15 days, if the child dies post-birth, right, the child is out breathing and, let's see, alive for 15 days, nursing, being fed and cared for enough to survive. Within that first 15 days, they sought to make it against the law to investigate any death in that first 15 days, to create a post-birth abortion. These are the people we're talking about. So whenever you hear these assholes on the left say that most of Americans, 80% of Americans, support the right to choice, they're pro-choice, they support the right to commit abortions. The vast majority of those 80% that support that choice only support it theoretically in the case of the extraordinary exception of rape, incest, or life of the mother. Less than 1% of abortions are the result of rape, like dramatically less.
Ditto for incest. Right at 1% for life of the mother.
And there are no cases of life of the mother where the mother's life can be saved by an abortion. I know that might sound shocking to many people, but the fact is the procedure dealing with an ectopic abortion, which is one of those extraordinary cases that they like to cite, or I'm sorry, an ectopic pregnancy, that procedure is not an abortion. It's quite separate.
Okay.
If a woman is in distress, if the pregnancy is in distress, and the solution to save the mother's life involves her no longer being pregnant, the correct answer is an emergency C-section, an emergency delivery, to get the baby out as quickly and safely as possible. When you introduce an abortion procedure there, you're adding an additional line of risk. You are either dismembering the child in the womb, or you are introducing poison to the mother's system. You cannot save a woman's life with an abortion where it's not possible to do this, to have the same result through an emergency delivery or C-section. So, bearing all that in mind, remember, there's a reason that life is the word that we use when we're talking about this. There's a reason that language is part of the conversation. A baby is alive. Murder is not explicitly prohibited by the Constitution. The word murder doesn't appear there in reference to these things. Instead, it says that it is the government's responsibility to protect life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Life first. You cannot be happy if you're not free. You cannot be free if you are not alive. So it is the responsibility of the government to protect life. What Kansas has done now is said we do not want to protect life by amending our Constitution. And I've got good news for you, Kansas. You don't have to amend the Constitution to protect life. But,
well, okay. So, first things first. About 900,000 people in Kansas voted on this amendment. And a little less than 59% said, no, let's not do this. So, shit right up your nose with the whole narrative about how ultra right-wing Christian areas just can't wait to Handmaid's Tale your ass. They just can't wait to do it. Can't wait to do it. This disproves that. Secondly, I've read the language of the amendment, and I think what happened here is that people read too much into it, because it specifically says, oh, not limited to rape and incest. I can picture stupid people reading that bill, especially with a Democrat machine behind it that's willing to lie and exaggerate and so forth, and say, oh my God, even if you raped, they want you to carry your rapist baby.
Yeah, that's false. Here's the language of the bill.
Oh, I'm not saying that is true.
Oh, no, I understand. You're saying that liar's gonna lie. And I'll put the lie to them right here. Because Kansans value both women and children, the Constitution of the state of Kansas does not require government funding of abortion and does not create or secure a right to abortion. To the extent permitted by the Constitution of the United States, the people, through their elected state representatives and state senators, may pass laws regarding abortion, including but not limited to laws that account for circumstances of pregnancy resulting from rape or incest or circumstances of necessity to save the life of the mother. This is the whole bill, by the way. That's it.
It's like a page and a half. Bill. Oh, the
right.
version I read was a page and a half, but whatever.
Well,
see, but that's what I mean right there. And that's one reason why I absolutely hate legalese. I hate it. Okay? I know that does not mean that they're going to try and stop you from getting an abortion if you have an ectopic pregnancy. I understand that.
Yeah, you're still good to go up to like 22 weeks in Kansas, something like that.
Yes.
5 months.
Yes. So, but it's the same thing here, okay? Excuse me, it is not the same thing here. I know that this does not stop you from having an abortion if you've got an ectopic pregnancy. But somebody that's not us, or not one of our wonderful people in the chat, might read that and go, holy shit, I can't vote for this. I have to vote no, otherwise this will literally set women's health back. Because we've created this whole thing around this issue of all these false narratives about all this rape and all these times, like the 10-year-old girl that had to leave the state under odd circumstances to have her abortion to save her life.
And then we discovered that she wouldn't have had to leave the state generally. And then, oh, by the way, they reported her rapist as a minor.
Well, she was a
27-year-old minor.
Yeah, that, like, everything about that situation was absolutely bizarre.
Well, quite simply, the acolytes of Moloch could not afford for it to be discovered that the rapist was an illegal alien.
Yeah, too much cross-current
transported by Biden's policies.
So, and then Steve points out that ectopic is not abortion. Yes, yeah, that is one of the things I see the lie on social media. To be like, oh my gosh, even if you have an ectopic abortion, they want you to just die from it. Look, no, nobody does. Absolutely zero people want that to happen. Okay? I mean, seriously. So anyhow, this needed to get covered because it went back to the states. The states made a choice. It was put on the ballot democratically. Almost 1 million people in an ultra red state voted for this, and they did not vote to pass a constitutional amendment that would allow them to regulate abortion. Now, part of what I suspect is that the Kansas legislature can still, in fact, regulate abortion. Like, it already does. This was probably, you know what this probably was, is this is probably both a CYA and red meat to the base, and it backfired terribly.
Agreed.
This was a political stunt, and I'll even go so far as to say, purely in a tactical sense, an absolute overreach, and now it's blown up in their faces. But I'm still going to call this a victory, because every time somebody says, oh my God, they want you to die from ectopic pregnancy, I'm going to be like, ultra right-wing Kansas doesn't.
And so, and again, I'm going to go back to the language here. It says, because the Constitution of the state of Kansas does not require government funding of abortion and does not create or secure a right to abortion. Okay, the overturning of Roe v. Wade sends the question back to the states. The U.S. Constitution does not include a psychotic, absurd right to abortion. This right here, this doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. It basically says this is the case. It's not even as amendments go. It doesn't amend anything. It's more like, by the by, we're adding this amendment just to clarify what the other stuff means. This isn't, well, we've been drinking all we want, and now we think that's bad, and so we're going to pass the 18th Amendment and give Sean Connery a great excuse to make an excellent movie. But it's not going to work out long enough, so, 21st Amendment's going to do away with it. Those things changed the nature of the law. Those things changed the nature of law enforcement with respect to the laws they created. Prohibition was done through an amendment that made a change. This doesn't make a change. It says it is the case that the state of Kansas Constitution does not create or secure a right to abortion.
Yeah, but I mean,
so them failing to pass this amendment, it's still the case that the Kansas state constitution does not secure a right to abortion.
Yeah, this is a clarification in language, and I'll stand by it. This was one of the rare instances where the right virtue signals. And look,
yes.
It's bad when both sides virtue signal. Has a tendency to blow up in your face. Just don't do it. Hey, Kansas, just pass a law regulating abortion. You didn't have to do this. Anyhow, but yeah, just one more time. I want to drive it home. Not The Handmaid's Tale. In ultra red Kansas, they're not making you wear those stupid fucking red dresses. God, I hate that show. I hate that meme. I hate everything about it. I hate Elizabeth, what's her name, that stars in it. Like, Jesus, have you ever seen the meme that's like, nobody, absolutely nobody, liberal women, it's The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that good of a show.
I've never watched an episode.
I was forced to see parts of it, and it's okay. If you have rape fantasies, it's your jam. Like, it's weird. Like, this would be something.
Bernie Sanders show.
It's Bernie Sanders show.
Bernie Sanders show.
Hey, we got a few minutes left. Can we
turn on the phones?
I mean, we could. Well, there's the thing that happened in Arizona. And then turning on the phones is fine.
Okay,
yes.
The phones are on.
And then, Fish Golf and Guns joined us and now has left us. Well, thank you for coming and thank you for going. Well, and Crackshot points out that the original book was about Islam. Gee, that doesn't sound far more accurate to the source material. Wait, you mean you're going to treat women like second-class citizens just barely above property? That's not really a Christian thing and hasn't been for some time.
Is this the thing you wanted to do?
Yes, that's the thing where yes, this thing.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, new New poll shows Trump-backed GOP candidates dominating in key races. Phoenix, days before the... Hey, give us just a moment, caller. We'll be right there with you. Days before the Arizona primary election, a new poll shows Republican candidates backed by former President Donald Trump are dominating their rivals in several key races. The survey by OH Predictive Insights shows Kari Lake has a strong lead over Karen Taylor Robinson with 51% support compared to 33%. The poll of 502 likely GOP primary voters, 502 is an accurate sample size. Sure thing, pal. So here's what was funny. The Trump-backed candidate, okay, suddenly, out of nowhere, was in danger of losing. She has now declared victory, and she's declared victory with a little less than 2% of a margin of victory, which is small.
Right.
But
there's a chance it could go against her, but...
I mean, only if they find votes at 2 o'clock in the morning in Maricopa County.
Right.
But that's a joke, YouTube. That's absolutely a joke. Arizona's part of that system that's just got the most safe and secure election ever, and their
right.
vote audit
exactly.
found absolutely zero.
No Democrat like Cheetle Juice has ever found a ballot in a trunk or box of them.
Exactly.
Never happened. So, hey, who do we have on the phone?
Why, you have Sean Stryker Thompson out of Southern California, the great city of Riverside. How you doing, guys?
Oh, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, and General Flynn's weighing in on this whole Kari Lake scenario. You guys want to hear his Truth Social post?
Yes. Party on the yacht.
Quote and unquote. So Secretary of State Katie Hobbs gets to certify an election in which she's running for governor, and she has control of the race of her GOP opponent. Do I have this right? Hobbs must recuse herself. He then tags Kari Lake, Brian Cates, Laura Logan, Real Dirty, Real Donald Trump, Real Liz USA, We the Media, Doug Billings, Ann Vandersteel, Tracy Beans, Clay Clark, and Barbara Redgate.
Damn.
So it sounds to me like General Flynn is not playing.
And hey, Sergeant Major says secure is their border. I'm gonna throw a big top comment at that. Because not only is that a fantastic reference, a fantastic joke there, old man, Sergeant Major. One of the things that makes Kari Lake such an attractive candidate, one of her key positions is that she wants to, as an elected official, be in a position to declare a state of emergency and officially designate the border crisis in Arizona as an invasion.
Bingo.
And that changes a lot of math. And you've heard me on the show several times. I think we could solve the whole border crisis with some simple, one-strand barbed wire fencing and signs that say minefield. You don't even have to actually put a minefield out there. You just walk a goat out every couple of months and blow it up for the spectacle of it, and ba-boom.
Well, if it was a sheep, that'd be a bad decision.
It would be a bad day.
Oh, my God. Okay. There we go, the dad jokes.
There you go. Now you've used it in context. Something to note with this is that one of your other regulars in the comments, Rebel Jack, I was talking with him earlier tonight. His phone number is out of Arizona, and he started getting hit up with all this anti-Kari Lake material the last couple of weeks when he basically had transferred his phone number over, and all of a sudden his phone's getting blown up by this. But the phone number does not link back to any GOP fundraisers or anything like that. And I've been hearing that too on social media, where all of a sudden people are saying she had negative stuff she had voted for or pushed for in the past, but no one can quote me or send me the memes with the URLs or anything of all these alleged things. So I'm wondering if they put a whisper campaign out to hurt a Trump nominee.
No.
Thoughts?
No. What?
Well, I might refer to Troll Farm, yes.
Okay.
Well, let's look at it this way. John McCain came from Arizona, right? And we know that the Bush campaign put out a whisper campaign against him back in the late 80s, early 90s when he made his first run for president.
Yeah, but I wouldn't piss on John McCain's corpse if it was on fire.
I wouldn't leave anything for there to be a corpse, but that's just my attitude about that. But what do you guys got for me?
Afghanistan, he owes me 2 soldiers.
Yeah, and he owed all of us a vote to repeal Obamacare, and he failed on that point.
Okay, that's a rabbit hole we don't have time for.
Anyhow, okay,
and I might get angry and start smashing the table again.
Yeah, please don't do that. Okay, so, hey man,
you guys want me to drop so someone else can call in?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. And actually, I'm gonna drop the calls for now because it is overtime and I've got to get going. Thanks for calling in, brother, and we will talk to you again soon.
Hey, real quick, I could. I wasn't going to talk to him.
He's still watching the show.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it to him. I was just going to say it because here's part of why I wanted to bring up the Kari Lake thing. And Alex from the TPS report even helped transition over to it. He says that these are not strong numbers for Donald Trump, that it's showing a deeply divided party. I am not the slightest bit concerned about that whatsoever because Donald Trump divided the party once before and he ended up being right. So... oh, well, sometimes it's tough. I think Rush Limbaugh put it best. He said, part of what you're seeing in Trump, even the parts that you don't like, are this is what it looks like when somebody fights back. Sometimes fighting is ugly, and this you have to take the good with the bad. The second thing, and these are not strong numbers, okay, I'm less concerned about a 1 to 2% margin of victory than I am about the way the media is going to report it. And it goes back to the whole January 6th thing and why I thought going inside the Capitol was a bad idea, because part of what the mainstream media is telling you is that, oh my God, a psychotic Trump candidate is totally declaring victory with such a small margin of victory. Man, this is how we get January 6th. Because what happens if we find 50,000 votes for her opponent and she loses? What's she going to do? Is she just going to concede the election? Is she, this is dangerous. How dare she dangerously declare victory? No, stop it, media. You guys are liars. She's declaring victory because she believes that she won. This is not some grand conspiracy. There was no grand conspiracy with Donald Trump. The January 6th hearings have proven that.
In fact, one of the key pieces of evidence that they tried to use to support the idea that there was a grand conspiracy is they managed to prove conclusively through stolen documents that Trump Jr. didn't know anything about the grand conspiracy. It's like, now, hold on a minute. I'm sorry. The Donald had a great... Donnie Two Scoops conspired to overthrow the United States government with an unarmed, peaceful protest, and Donnie Jr. didn't know about it? No!
I know, right? So anyhow, for the most part, Trump's back candidates are winning. I think Trump's back candidates are going to continue to win. He's not going to have a 100% winning record, but nobody does. It's funny. They'll tell you about the 1 out of 10 times Donald Trump loses. They won't tell you about the 9 out of 10 times he wins. And in the rare instance, like here with Kari Lake, well, it's going to be like, well, she won, but gosh, it's so dangerous. And it's all these terrible things. And it's really not. It's really, really not, people. But anyhow, I just wanted to make sure to touch it because of the way that it's being reported in the media, the way it's being spun. Okay.
Yeah.
The way it's being spun. And Alex, again from the TPS report, and then I know you got to go. He says, "Don't get me wrong, Trump will do fine, but it's not the numbers we saw in 2016." I think comparing things to 2016 is dangerous.
Well, 2016 was a general election year. We're in a midterm right now.
Well, I think it would be
midterm years don't put up the numbers that general election years do. For one, And even then, we're also talking about primaries here. Primaries are not going to put up the numbers that the full election will put up in November. We'll see bigger numbers there, as well. But yeah, you're not wrong, Alex. But I don't think it's as relevant because of the difference between a general election and a midterm year. What?
Sean Stryker with the absolute savagery.
Oh, wow.
Comment.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
Actually, yeah, Stryker makes a good point there. The Democrats really cut their own throats on the voter turnout when they went to the ventilators, because the ventilators, at the most generous estimate, had like a 14% survival rate.
Something crazy like that. If you went on the vent, it was bad. I don't remember the exact number. But hey, man, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be alive to vote Democrat.
No, you don't. No, you don't. All right, guys, I really do have to get going. Love you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Wall-to-wall firearms, DGUs on Firearms Friday, baby. We're doing it old school. We are going to talk about defensive gun uses, and yeah.
And we're going to drink a shitload of coffee. Y'all be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow.